Welcome back. It's Cigar Time, your friendly cigar show every Tuesday night at 7:30, and we're privileged and welcome Paul Bush. Paul Bush is the originator and owner of the Panacea line of cigars. But before we get to Paul, Rob, tell us what we're smoking first.
We are smoking an Eduardo Dominico.
Very good.
It is. It's a all Dominican filler and binder with a Connecticut shade wrapper. Very smooth.
That makes it a
Puro.
It's actually not. It's got a Connecticut
Makes it a
wrapper.
cigar.
it's almost a Puro.
Almost a Puro.
Almost a Puro.
Almost.
That's why I don't like it.
Oh,
Man,
we haven't even started yet. She doesn't like
I
it.
like this.
Because it has a Connecticut wrapper.
It's got a beautiful gold.
It's Ecuadorian Connecticut.
All right, well, we'll do a quick run around and get
tea is
some
done.
other opinions of this cigar. Mystery smoker, why don't you chime in first?
Well, I'm going to have to totally disagree
Good.
with the lovely Tia. This is one of my favorite cigars. I really love the cigar. It's creamy, it's delicious, and for the price, you can't beat it. It's just wonderful.
All right, after that good review, we'll go to Ms. Doubtfire.
It doesn't have a band for her to like.
Yeah, it does. It has a
it
beautiful
has-
gold.
It's got a gold
Dominico
band. Look for
on
the gold
the
band
band.
in the stores.
There you
But it
go.
says Dominico on the band, so it's very easy to find. It's a beautifully constructed cigar. I just don't like a Connecticut wrapper.
Oh,
That's it.
God.
You like them dark.
I
I
like-
love them, though.
Scott?
I like stronger cigars, but this is really nice. It's very creamy, as our mystery smoker said. It's a very smooth cigar, somewhere between mild and medium bodied, and I'm getting a little bit of vanilla from the cigar. This is one of my favorites that we make.
Paul?
I'm right with Scott, except I also get a slight bit of nuttiness to it that I enjoy tremendously. But it's a good, mild, smooth, easygoing cigar.
Paul, would we put you on the spot by asking you to critical?
Yeah,
Be critical.
I agree with Paul. There's some spice in this. I like it. And I like a Connecticut. My first blend that I ever did was a Connecticut. I really think this is it's a mild cigar, but it's a creamy cigar. It does have some spice to it. I'm really enjoying it.
Rob?
I like it.
I agree with Tia. I don't like the
I
cigar
can't see
at all.
how you two
Any
can
of our
agree on a
cigars?
cigar.
I know. I hate to say it, but I agree with Tia. I don't
Mark
like
this
the cigar.
down, folks. Tia and
I
Rob
get there's
agree.
creaminess to it. I get a little bit of toast taste to it.
But those
But
are
this
horrible
cigar is
flavors.
just
Toast and
it's
creamy are
just
horrible.
really bad.
Well,
I don't like it.
Maybe because you didn't
At
put
all.
any butter on that toast.
Maybe.
Did you
something,
taste
but
any
I
eggs or bacon with it?
No, that
That
would
would
give it
go
some
over
taste.
really
That-
well.
don't get
I am
much taste.
shell-shocked. I cannot believe that T and Rob agree on a cigar.
On anything.
Well, that's true, too. Well, I got to be the dissenter. This is a great cigar. When you factor in you can smoke this cigar any time of the day or night, because I know Paul gets up in the middle of the night and smokes cigars.
Yes,
It
Paul.
is a mild cigar.
You do?
And I agree
1
with all the
o'clock in the
comments
morning,
about the
all the
taste
time.
profile and the creaminess and all that. And when you factor in that this cigar is $4.50 in any size other than the 6x60, which is only slightly more, it's a bell ringer. And that's why we sell so many of these
We do
things.
sell a lot of them.
We do sell. So let's just quickly go around for the ratings.
I give it a 4.25.
3.25.
Oh,
I'm with
painful.
mystery smoker. 4.25.
4.25.
I'm going to go 4.5.
Yeah, that's right.
saying
He
something.
needs
I
an
like
order.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it down.
There we go.
I'm going to give it a 3.
Oh,
ouch.
Lord.
I was going to say 3, but I had to do 3.25.
Not me.
I give it a solid 4.5, and a lot of the 4.5 comes from the fact that it is a pleasant cigar to smoke, can be smoked by anybody at any time, and of course the price. The price factors into this a great deal.
It did, and that's why I gave it a 3.
I give it a 4.5, which gives it a total of 4.17.
Yeah.
Quick math.
I love that.
I'm
Yeah,
good
he's
at math.
very good at that.
Well, let me introduce again Paul Bush, the originator and owner of the Panacea line of cigars. And Paul, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and the cigars and how you got into this? And
Well, I'm a local guy.
Yeah,
I'm a
we know.
Pennsylvania guy.
Yep.
Just up the road about a half an hour, and I was doing some consulting into the tobacco industry, cigar industry, and during that, it was about a year and a half contract that I had. And during that time, I met a lot of the growers, I met a lot of the manufacturers, a lot of distributors. When the contract was up, after that 18-month period, I really missed it. I mean, I had a great time, you know, over that year and a half. And I went back and I was doing specifically small business consulting, focusing on on the internet and distribution and cataloging and distribution. So when it was over, I went back and got some contracts with some existing folks and just started doing some work up in New York and in Philadelphia. But I really missed the industry, so I went back down to the Dominican and spoke with some folks that I had met during the contract period in the industry, and started Panacea Cigars. And that was late 2006, and it took about 12 months to get the brand together, get the paperwork together, all the licenses and everything else that's necessary to get a product, to get a blend put together. The Natural was the first one that we ever did, and it was, we did it in 4 shapes. It was the classic line, this box here, 20 cigars to a box, and I literally loaded up the back of the car with samples and would drive.
I remember.
Yeah, drive from my house in Bucks County down to Washington, D.C., and you know, stop in shops along the way and walk in there, and I had a sheet, literally a baggie with, you know, 4 cigars in it and a sheet of paper, and I would say, hey, you know, here's some cigars, smoke these if you would. Here's my price sheet with my phone number on it, and you know, I'll hope to hear from you. If not, I'll come back and see you again. And I did that for 3 years, you know, up and down the East Coast.
I remember you used to come into Phoenixville.
Yeah.
First time I ever met you,
Yeah.
back in '07.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah,
You came in,
and it
yeah.
was, well, because of where I live. I mean, it was all the Philadelphia,
Sure.
kind of the,
Sure.
I guess the Lehigh Valley. You know, it was
Right.
parts of New Jersey, central New Jersey, the Philadelphia area. I have family up in New England, so I would make my way up through New York and just keep going up to Boston. And I'd hit shops, stay at my sister's house, and then I would drive back down and load the car again.
Nice.
And that was it.
Tell us about some of the other blends other than the original.
Well, we started with the Connecticut. The Connecticut was the first one, and we're making the cigars in the Dominican Republic. It was a Connecticut seed wrapper grown in Ecuador. The filler was Dominican and Nicaraguan. And at that time, and again, I think that was late 2007 by the time we had that cigar and we were
Right.
visiting shops. And if you remember, and I think still to some degree today, there's a lot of shops, depending on the shop and depending on geographics, stronger cigars. Especially then, it was all about the strong cigars. So there, you know, the reception on my cigar was, hey, this is a really well balanced. This is a very, very nice cigar. However, it's 10% of my sales,
Yeah.
and the rest is, you know, medium to full.
Right.
They wanted stronger cigars. So what we did is very quickly we said, okay, well, let's take the same blend, but we'll wrap it in a Brazilian Maduro. We added actually a little bit more Nicaraguan to the black label Maduro that we have out there now, and that raised the profile a bit. And so some of the shops that we didn't get, you know, over the course of that year, kind of knocking on doors, we went back and we opened up those shops. It was a stronger cigar, but you've smoked it. It's still not one of these really heavy duty,
overpowered, no.
full body.
And we're going to review the Black Natural today, right?
I
the
think we are, yeah.
Yep.
So it was, you know, we opened up a few more shops with that one, but it still wasn't strong enough. So, and I was working full time still while we were trying to get this, you know, off the ground. So there was a third blend which came in, which was the Red Label, and I tell this story all the time. It was really that Red Label Habano that really, you know, I'll say launched the company in a sense, because it was finally the cigar that we went around, and all we did to that cigar, it's the same Brazilian Maduro wrapper. But what we did was we added more Nicaraguan and we changed the binder. The binder is a Cuban seed, it's a very strong leaf, and it raised the profile enough where now the guys that really like those strong, heavy-duty
hitters,
cigars,
yeah.
it was still around. It's still on the mild, you know, on the softer end of their scale, but it was enough where they said, okay, this is a nice cigar. I like this. You know, this will be my morning cigar. And to this day, we still don't really make one of these a real powerhouse cigar, but that cigar was strong enough for the guys that really like a strong cigar. but it was also, you could still get the guys that want a mild cigar because it wasn't too overpowering. So to them, it was, I'm going to have this cigar late in the day after a big meal. To the guys that like, and the gals that like the really, you know, heavy duty cigars. Sorry, Tia.
It's okay.
You know, they said, yeah, this is mild for me, but it's a great cigar in the morning. You know, I'll smoke this first thing in the morning.
Right.
So it was, and now I name it my bridge cigar because it really did. It hit everybody. So then, you know, when you have something that's appealing to everybody, now all of a sudden it opens up more and more stores, more and more consumers. Right. So it finally was something. When I looked at it, I said, okay, this could turn into a real company, you know?
Yeah.
So is that your best-selling line, the Habano?
It still is today, yeah. It's and for all those reasons I just mentioned, it's a cigar that will appeal to everybody, but it's going to be in your mild camp or it's going to be in your strong camp, depending on where you come out of the gate. The next cigar, the Pennsylvania Broadleaf,
the green,
was another. Honestly, I didn't know how that was going to go over. I mean, I did it because I live here in Pennsylvania. I love the Pennsylvania cigar history. I was selling a couple of shops that said to me, hey, we have a lot of, you know, tourists that come in, a lot of people from out of the state, I guess, looking for Pennsylvania-made cigars. And I heard more and more and more of this, so I started to look into that Pennsylvania Broadleaf and played around with a few different blends. And that was our green label that we launched, and it's still behind the red, but only slightly. It has really, really taken off.
Tell us, Paul, before we go further, tell us a little bit about the price points. Just what gamut are your...
Price points are $6 to $9.
Okay, so you're pretty much in the sweet spot.
In that range, yeah. $5.90 to, you know, $8.90. Of course, depends on the state and what the taxes are and everything else. But our MSRPs are that $5.90 to $8.90. And for us, I think it's a great value. One thing we're able to do as a small company, or I'm able to do as a small company, is we don't have the overhead, you know, so we can really, we don't grow our own tobacco, we buy our tobacco, but we can afford to buy the better leaf and put it into the cigar. And so really we want to push something out there that we think is a really good value. So I get a lot of feedback from consumers, which I love. This compare, you know, your cigar, I'll compare it to cigar XYZ, and it's, you know, it's $2 or $3 less.
Right.
Briefly tell us about the track. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but we're running a little short of time.
I'll get long-winded, so you got to cut me off.
We'll cut you off. Don't worry. Track 7. I know we've sold. I know you honored us by giving us that kind of exclusively at the beginning because we liked it from the first go.
The Track 7.
I know, Tia, you didn't like the label. You didn't like the band.
I didn't like the band,
But
I love
the
the cigar.
Okay. But tell us real briefly about the Track 7, then we need to move on.
So Track 7 is. It's the first box press that we've done, and I want to play around with some new blends, some stuff that's going to be a little different for Panacea. And I was, rather than playing around with those different shapes and different blends under the Panacea name, I figured we'll start a second label, which is Track 7. Track 7, that blend, though, actually is pretty familiar, fairly familiar to our Black Label Maduro. The filler, we changed the ratio on the Nicaraguan and the Dominican a little bit. It's the same. It's a Brazilian Maduro wrapper, which we've used in the past. The box press, I think, draws amazing. You know, when I think of a box press, I've always thought that just using the word press, it's going to be a tight draw. But as soon as you light a box press in the end, because of the heat, it'll start to swell immediately. So it actually opens up the draw. It draws very, very nicely, and it smokes differently. You know, it smokes at a different speed, and it smokes at a different temperature from our other, you know, our Robusto or our Toro.
Well, I think now we've heard so much about Panacea, it's time for us to smoke one.
Smoke one. Let's do it.
Our lovely Miss Teresa, Miss Caroline is not serving us the cigar. Just Miss Teresa is serving us the cigar. That's okay.
Thank you.
Stand by.
Do you want me to tell you about the cigar?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why don't you start telling us
please.
about it?
Right. The Panacea, we're smoking the Panacea Black Natural. It comes in the sizes of Robusto, Toro, Torpedo. That's in the classic line. And then you also have the 5x60 line. The wrapper is an Ecuadorian Connecticut, the binder is a Dominican, and the filler is a Nicaraguan and Dominican. The taste profile are earthy and woody, some hints of cream and nutty, and some coffee. Let me smoke this. That sounds pretty good.
Paul,
Wait a minute.
you have two size lines, the Grande and then the
Yeah.
Classic.
Yep.
Which sells better?
I started.
more popular?
The Grande line is more popular now. When I started the company, we did a Robusto, a Toro, a Torpedo, and a Perfecto. We added a Churchill, we added a Corona. We do a Toro Grande, which I call the hitch pin, and we do like a petite Robusto, if there's such a thing. It's a
That's in the
4
Corojo line, right?
by 50 in the Corojo,
Right.
which I call a Bolt. So that's part of the classic line. And it was probably about the same time, well, it was shortly after we released the Red Label Habano, where I started to get requests for larger ring gauge cigars. So we came up with the 5x60. It was a huge success. We started doing the 7x60 after the 5x60. Now we have a 6x60, and we've just added a 6x70.
That was very good. I had that on Friday.
I,
That
I,
was really
I
good.
think before we review the cigar, it's always a tough word for me. I think we should cover our first topic and then come back to this.
Yeah.
And our first topic today is why should you shop in what commonly called brick and mortar, which is your neighborhood retail stores as opposed to other forms of purchasing. Mystery Man, check in now.
Well, whenever you go to your brick and mortar store, you get a chance to really look at the cigars, and you know they're taken care of because you're in the humidor where they're taken care of. You know the complete history. You can talk to the personnel working there. You can ask their advice on a cigar, and you can buy one and give it a try and see what you think. And that's the luxury. And then most of the places have a place where you can sit and smoke, so you can sit down and relax and enjoy a cigar with other cigar smokers.
Thank you. T?
Huh.
That's a good reason.
I didn't
Huh?
know I was getting there. Definitely come to Reading, please. I agree with everything the mystery smoker said. It's really more personable. Going to a brick and mortar store, the camaraderie in the store that you get. I know a lot of people like to just come in and just sit and talk with people and smoke, opposed to just, I guess, getting it online or something like that, and then you don't know what you're getting either,
Plus,
Scott?
you're okay.
Well,
You gotta
as
be
you
brief
say,
on-
you have the
you gotta be
ability.
brief on this.
You have the ability to ask the tobacconists a lot of questions, and
Yes.
if they really know what they're talking about, they can really guide you to the right cigar. You don't have to put it up to luck.
Paul?
What I like is that you can walk into a brick and mortar store, and no matter where you are, you're amongst friends that smoke cigars.
Right.
And you can't get that any other way.
I think you just one of the things is you're supporting local businesses in the area. So I think that's a big thing.
I think the only thing I can add to that, besides everything that's been said, is I can only speak for our stores, 7 stores located in your neighborhood,
Right near you.
is we're very competitive. Sure, we may not be the cheapest on everything, nobody ever is, but with our variety and our packs and our specials, we're very competitive. And you don't need to go elsewhere. You can just come, and as has been said before, you're amongst friends. And the people know what they're talking about, or God help them.
And free coffee.
And free coffee.
And Wi-Fi.
And free Wi-Fi. And good coffee. And nice lounges.
Yes.
Okay.
Where should they go to find out where our locations are?
I think you should go to cccigars.com.
That's CCigars.com.
Even if the rest of you don't say it.
Thank you, Mystery Man.
All right, I guess we should sort of go around and, it's early, but,
Oh, we're not Paul? Paul's not around the world today?
well,
Well, yeah.
well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because I want to keep smoking a little bit more. I mean, I got to get a little bit more flavor.
he better go around the world quickly.
Oh, well,
Where are you this week?
today I'm in the Dominican Republic.
Okay, that was very nice.
Yeah, and I loved it. Now, actually, believe it or not, the Dominican Republic is the oldest of all of the cigar countries, even older than Cuba, in that when Columbus arrived in the Western Hemisphere,
You were there to greet him, I know.
Uncle
Max
Max.
Uncle Max
Uncle Max
was
was
there,
there, yeah.
but where he landed was on the island of Hispaniola, which is
Hispaniola,
where
yeah.
the Dominican Republic is, and he got together with the Taino and Arawak Indians and found out about their cigars. It's been a commercial venture in the Dominican Republic for almost 500 years. Wow. If we go into modern times, as we've heard about other countries before, the modern cigar industry traces its roots to the exodus from Cuba during the Communist Revolution. That's true in the Dominican Republic too, and in fact, in 1959, at the beginning of the revolution, many of the great cigar families of Cuba left for the Dominican Republic. And their hero at that time was a fellow by the name of Carlos Terrano, who is the first one to have smuggled seeds out of Cuba and brought them to the DR, the Dominican Republic. The seeds that he brought, with a little bit of crossbreeding and development, became what's known as Piloto Cubano, which is the anchor of all Dominican tobaccos. Everything else grows out of that, and most Dominican blends today still include a significant amount of that tobacco. It's the base breed.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop you, but I think what we should do, since talking about Dominican Republic is so lengthy, I think we should save the rest for our next show.
We can do that.
Because I know you could do hours on just the Dominican because of what it does for the cigar business, how many cigars come out of the Dominican Republic. So let's kind of save, let's kind of stop you there.
The only other thing I have
leave everybody
to say
hanging.
Is the best food in the world is Dominican goat. For my money.
I'll try, next time I go to a goat restaurant, I'll make sure I'm getting Dominican goat.
Goats are us?
Chivo is heaven on 4 feet.
Okay.
Gonna trust you.
I don't know how
You're going to cut me short? You don't know what you're going to get.
I don't know how I can top that, but I think it's time to review and talk about the Black Natural Panacea. Mystery Man?
Well, I definitely get the hints of the creamy and nuttiness in that, and being a coffee, don't want to say connoisseur, but I enjoy coffee a lot. I definitely taste the coffee in there too. It's a very good cigar. I really enjoy it.
Miss T?
I just have to say, I don't think you make a cigar I don't like. I just have to say that.
Praise the
Every
Lord.
one that
Just the band you don't like.
the band's actually cute. Good job on the band this time. All right.
That's a
Nicely done.
That's important
This
to her.
is actually a really good cigar. I agree right with the mystery smoker. Everything you said was right on. I taste the coffee, the cream. I even get some of the earthy and the woodiness. Great cigar.
Scott?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite cigars that you make, and it's an Ecuadorian Connecticut, but it's a little bit darker than your traditional Connecticut. I really like that. And this cigar reminds me a lot of the Monte Cristo Edmundo.
Edmundo,
Yeah,
Ooh.
and which is
a powerful recommendation.
Yes,
it's
it is.
Well, that's a good Cuban cigar, by the way.
It's fantastic, yeah. Great flavor, great construction, very smooth cigar. I get the creaminess and the nuttiness. I love this one.
Paul?
Thank you.
Well, I got to go with Scott on this, and all I would want to add is there is more going on in this cigar than any other real mild cigar I've ever had.
Yeah.
And hats off to you.
And there's some of the your piloto in there.
Aha.
Yeah.
Ah.
Rob?
I have to agree with Scott, which I hate to do. This does taste like an Edmundo, Monte Cristo Edmundo, and that is my favorite cigar in the world. This is a very good cigar. I like this. I'm definitely getting the toasty coffee taste out of it, and the nuts. It's very, very good.
Thank you.
Well, it's hard to top all that, but yeah, I get the creaminess. I think it's right up there with an Edmundo. Actually, I kind of like this better than an Edmundo.
There you go.
All right.
Which is a pretty serene compliment from me, especially.
Well, thank you, Art.
Well, I guess we should rate it. Remember, our scale is 1 to 5. Mr. Man?
4.75. Solid.
T?
4.80.
Whoa! 8-0. Wow.
4.79.
Oh, you're going to make my job complicated. Paul?
I'm with the Mystery Man, 475.
Rob?
Yeah, 4.75. Absolutely.
Well, I'll just be contrary because I get a lot of complexity, as I think Paul mentioned before. I mean, this is a complex smoke. I'm kind of surprised it's Dominican. It's not that Dominicans aren't good, mind you, but this is more complex than most Dominicans, or just about all Dominicans I've ever smoked, and I've smoked a lot. I give it a 4.9.
Wow.
It really rings my bells. So tabulating that quickly, we're at a 4.81.
Ah,
So
that's
that's way up
right.
there amongst
That's
the
one of the
cigars
highest
we've ever rated.
Yeah, ever rated. Yeah. That's
Well, because
pretty
I
good.
love his track 7, so I couldn't give it
Yeah, we
as
all like
high
the
as
track
track
7.
7.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, have me back. Have me back. And we'll
We'll
do
do
the track
that.
7 on
Yeah,
the
we'll talk
show.
about the track
All
7.
right.
Yeah, we'll put that under high consideration.
All right.
Keep supplying these cigars.
Yeah, right?
Our next topic is a very timely one, given the state of the weather in January, and as we're doing this, it is well into January. Where do you go to smoke in January, Mystery Man?
Well, if you can't make a plane flight to
Oh,
the
I
south,
knew you were gonna take that right away from me.
and you'd have to find a place indoors to smoke because it's just too cold outside. And I love to go to the cigar stores, our local stores, and smoke in our lounges.
Why'd you steal mine?
Shameless plug.
Everybody had the same.
Where do I go to smoke in January? I either go to the cigar store to smoke, which is my store in Reading, or I go to a friendly bar that lets you smoke a cigar. And I bring the
where's that?
biggest one in Reading. I'm not going to say yet. I'm still talking to the owner about the plug, but
Uh,
I bring the
Our
biggest
businesswoman.
cigar. I bring the biggest cigar in when I go to.
Scott?
I'm going to have to jump to the conclusion that we're not talking about smoking in our own stores because that's
Right.
an obvious. But actually, what I will do is I'll go to the Oxford Valley store, and I have a sunroom in my house, and I'll smoke out there.
Cool. Paul?
Ecuador.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Gotta get Ecuador in there.
You need an Ecuador tattoo.
Actually, though, the place where I smoke more cigars than anywhere else in this time of year is in my car.
That's true.
Because I'm on the road a lot,
That's what I should do.
and my car is the largest rolling ashtray on the planet.
I can vouch for
Now that
that.
I think about it,
Rob?
I should go over to Paul's house and smoke. Now that I think about
Yeah,
it.
right. Yeah, one
Or
of
his
the
car, at
morning,
least.
yeah.
At least
Right,
his
you're
car.
Paul. This Paul.
Oh,
A lot of people smoke. A
Not
lot
just
of
me at
people,
your Oxford Valley store.
There you go.
other than our stores, a lot of people smoke in their garage. They put a little heater out there, open the door.
That's what I do.
That's,
A fan.
that's
Yeah.
dedication.
It is.
That's true dedication.
That's where most people smoke.
Well, Mike upstaged me because I was going to say I go to Florida to smoke in January.
Well, I learned from the master.
Thank you. You heard me say that before. Paul, how about yourself?
Well, I agree with Rob. I have one of these propane heaters. It's from my
Dedicated
my
smoker.
construction days,
Yeah.
and you hook it up to you just go get your propane tank off of your grill, and you hook it up, and I've got a nice carpeted area in the garage. We got chairs we stick out there, and we heat it. In no time, it heats up the garage, and you can sit in your garage.
Yeah.
When it gets a little too smoky, you just open the
Open the
garage
door,
door,
right.
right.
What do you
Let
do with
it-
old Blue?
let it go flying out. Blue has a nice heated area where he gets to sit through the winter. Yeah,
Is that the dog?
that's the truck.
no, that's right.
Well, again, another episode has flown by.
Wow, really?
I
What
can't
a
believe
time.
we chew up
Heavy
this
up,
half
heavy
hour.
up, heavy up.
Yeah, I
Put
can't
it
believe we
there.
chew up this half hour so quickly. So I guess I'll say we hope to see you again next week. Please tell your friends and neighbors and whoever who smoke. And for me anyway, thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Bye bye for now.
Ciao, everybody.
Smoke often, smoke happy.
Thank you, thank all of you guys.
Wow, you stole my line. Ciao for now, everybody.
Mr. Man.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. See you later.
And please keep
not
those
right.
cards and letters and emails coming. On behalf of everybody, we thank you very much. Keep watching. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.